Testing. Testing. Hello, hello. Hello. Oops, sorry for the loud noise. I think we're good to start. So last time I left off, I was going back and forth many times.
Just an ordinary wall. Because you see it, finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors. All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of wallcraft, color peeled from the very face of God. O Wall Father.
Yes, I must paint this wall.
Now you just need the materials. Yes,
I'm sure I'll find them and then I'll return to this wall. We healed our morale. Okay. I hate to save scum, but there is no way that I am passing up a past check on that one.
The lights are so pretty.
What is this crime
Crime fiction
business?
is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a police.
Crime, murder gets people
Don't
going.
look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. Head.
No.
Soul.
Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir, like in the books.
What is romance?
Or there could be a story about it happened.
Poor
Those
man
are
getting a
unhappy
rich
ones.
lady.
These are well, maybe.
What
That's
about when
really
everyone is
not
poor?
a proper romance story. That's
Sometimes you have
not
to
a
write about real life
romance book,
things.
sir. These are about night. I haven't read many.
Maybe I will.
I'm sure she can help out.
It's enough
Maybe
romance.
some about other books.
Where are these
Oh,
famous
I think that's
people
why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame. I
can
don't
become
know.
famous.
All dogs.
Fame sounds
Why would you do
delicious.
that, sir?
Maybe someone will write a book about me one day. Because I'll be a superstar
That's
cop.
so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
The girl keeps her.
Why do
do
you
you
keep your
mean,
hands
sir?
folded?
She knows where this is going.
You don't
She
need to be
looks
worried, I'm
around
here to help.
Anxiously, her hands remain.
It's okay.
Brings out
You bite your
You
nails.
knew this from me keeping my hands folded.
There were a few
Well,
other hints.
That proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex.
Want more? But I can figure out
She
why
nods,
you bite your
half
nails.
provocative, half enthusiastic.
You're uptight because of your mother and the pressure
Maybe
she's
so,
putting
sir.
on you.
Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
I hope this
It's
entertains
okay,
you.
sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
Do
You're quite
better, to do
sober.
something about me. How do you know I'm
Because you
usually not?
aren't.
and I'm having a
I
grand
sure hope you
time.
are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow.
Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed.
She's your aunt?
No, sir. She's a working woman who comes to look at the books a lot.
Why is she
I think
distressed?
she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
Let's try this.
Because you know.
All right, I'm on a roll
she's been
today.
talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
So you know me? We've met
Yes,
before?
I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir. Telling people about being a star or something. I don't really understand who those stars are.
Did I ever talk
Of
to you?
course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
Thanks, I'm trying.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party
You
eyes.
know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
Does that mean I've been partaking in
Oh,
narcotics?
baby. That's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
So why didn't you tell me you knew me to
Didn't know
begin
I had
with?
to do that.
Thanks, I've learned something
I'm
about
glad I
myself
could help
today.
you, sir.
Okay, bye. That was a nice conversation. And we passed it without, you know, needing to... whatchamacallit? You know the word. Save and whatnot. We should also go ask the lady up here if she has any spare paint or something.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Cindy, I need some paint and your brush too.
What for?
For art. It's for art, okay?
Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about?
To be honest, I haven't really thought of anything
Then you
yet,
have
but I'm
time
sure
to
I
find
will.
your own fucking brush.
To crush a man's dreams like that, I hope you're happy.
There, Piggy. I guess art just isn't really you. 'Cause you suck in life and in everything.
Okay, that's a red check. We are gonna save that. So now that we've kind of passed through all those other checks I was thinking about making, what checks do I have left? There is a Kim check that I cannot do. We can redo Renee's check. And we can do the electric doorbell. Ooh, I forget if Renee's check takes away morale though. It honestly might.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts.
So his check is at 17%. What about my check on the electronic doorbell?
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons.
17%.
Lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Let's leave. What if I talk to Kuno? Will he tell me how to get past the lady who won't let me in?
Fuck does Kuno care?
Okay, I'm off. I guess I could always go try one of the challenging checks. And then just go to sleep. Oh, you know what? I do remember there being some type of check in the office here that I couldn't do. So, what is this? Oh, is this just the way out? Okay, yeah, that's just the way out. So, I think it was the phone that had
An
a
imposing
check.
combination. The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for you. It's
Okay.
unclear whether you undoubtedly no. Sure, why not? Nothing tricky about that. You just do.
Okay, what about this one?
The file cabinet stands steady as ever. And the drawer.
I feel like that could lead to another failed morale check. And we are on 1 morale now. I'm trying to think what physical checks I could do. If anything. I guess I could go into the work area. What's in here? Neat office shades. Whoops. I can wear glasses. So I can get +1 to visual calculus, but a -1 to drama. Which would put my visual calculus and drama at 0. How can I... How can I get to places?
A rusting control panel with several. You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown.
Hey there,
The
sugar.
container door appears unmoved by your attack. A tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts.
You're a fine
The
piece of
door does not
engineering, do you
respond to
know
your
that?
advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow? Why does this situation feel so familiar? Do you have a history of propositioning inanimate objects? You
Open the door.
No
Knock on
reply.
the door. What if I go push a button on the thingy? Like, I may as well mess with it.
Arresting the crane does not return to its original position. It does not move at all. The crane does no scratch of metal when you push the button.
Okay, so the crane is still not working. What about you? You got
Oh, hey,
anything?
mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
I have some
No
questions
trouble
for
at all,
you.
mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing.
Okay, I'm off. He has nothing new for me. I think talking to Everard without Kim here is a bad idea. I'm trying to think what else I can do. I could go back to the pawn shop, see if they got anything in there that's helpful. I'm trying to think. We know that Kuno S probably has my gun, but we don't know how to get it from her. This guy, I want to talk to him with Kim around, see if I can like verify anything.
A lorry stuck in the windows are
Okay, so that's the same lorry. Oh wait, there's a trash bin here. Can we look at its contents?
a crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted.
What is Samaran
Whatever
butter?
it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy.
Nothing more to see here.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque.
Pull the lever up.
Pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft, nothing happens.
Push it harder.
Nothing happens. A cold gust of... The man watches you in silence, very slowly cutting off another slice of his salami and putting it in his mouth.
Release the
The
lever.
spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Okay, so functionality will be restored Wednesday morning.
You see rows of toy soldiers.
Uh,
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and
is that a street light?
Yes, officer. As you see,
Nothing else I need to know about the light.
the boomboxes wait on the shelves. And your boombox, that gold and amber.
What I really want to know is
if
could
police
this
work means playing tapes,
come in handy?
sure, you can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
That's all.
Hello, hello. Let me know.
I have other business. Yeah, I think we're just walking out of here. Everything else is either expensive or yeah, basically that. Expensive. I honestly might just advance the day to Wednesday to try and reset everything. I guess I could try talking to the lady in here. Ooh. Oh wow, I need to pass 1.5 hours in game before sleeping is even an option.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
Sometimes it's necessary
I
to resort to
suppose
extreme
it's all
measures.
over now. I guess there's no escape.
What are you talking about? It's just a door.
This place is curse detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
I didn't know
Of
about the
course you
course.
didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do. But Before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
The entity? No, I
Yes,
don't think
the
so.
malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her.
You mean the chimney that's part of the central furnace? I heard voices coming
I've
from
heard
there.
that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite...
You should get back to the furnace. Make some noise.
All the pressure has made Annette really anxious. You know, she's been chewing her
I've
nails.
told her not to do that. It's disgusting. And I told you to mind your own business. Clearly, you have no idea how hard it is to raise a girl in this economy.
This economy is a mysterious force, like cosmic weather. Mysterious and harsh.
I don't think she can do anything
She can,
about it.
if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know
She
anything.
stands stiff and severe, silent.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite... There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
It sounds like both the husband and the mother treat her the way she treats Annette.
You're like Annette to your husband and your
Well,
mother.
my mother was horrible, of course. Absolutely perverse energies around that person. But my husband...
My husband is completely different, of course.
She told me she doesn't go to school
She's been
anymore.
too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
Is this husband
Yes,
Annette's father?
My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
And your
He
husband's
made
also
the
involved
initial
in the bookstore?
investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Is she an only
Yes,
child?
I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
Why not?
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father. I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand.
Alright, I have something else on my mind.
Looks aloof. Her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
I have a few more questions
Okay,
about the
but
curse.
please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
How does the curse manifest
curse
itself?
Is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Okay, I'm a little confused.
Everyone
What does
knows
that
all
mean?
the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived.
Sounds familiar.
Strange, I feel unwanted too.
Truly
What does it
so?
mean?
Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
Have you sought help from
Yes,
anyone?
I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear, it's not enough.
Is your pendant part of the wards as well?
No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
What about the wards on the back door?
Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards
Hey, Crusader, how you
do
doing?
here.
Why didn't you just tell me right
It's
away
not
it's
good
the
to talk
curse?
about the curse, not in
Gotta
detail.
hydrate.
The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Good evening, Plasticop.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Never mind, I had other questions. That's all I can say for now. Let's go check on... search for the malignant entity. Lives inside a chimney, find the way in. So we already found the like shuttered grate thing before, but I wonder if we can see something else now? Like now that we have the quest, I wonder if that will open up some new dialogue choices. Oh right, I need to actually equip my flashlight. So I think first I'll check out the chimney. And then if the chimney doesn't yield anything, I will check out the shutters.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
There we go.
Breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity.
This is the police. Who's there?
Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a...
You hear a low rumble upstairs.
All right. So we can go upstairs now. That was surprisingly easy. We are just knocking out these checks today. I hope that continues. Tray full of dice. Candy dispenser. Repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Amelia's. So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
Hold on, what do you mean by Milius?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
No, I was looking for something else. Answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
This person means you, or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
How did you become a
How
dice
did
maker?
I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the
Nothing
whirling in
really.
rags?
I didn't know him.
Who cares about a dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here.
Seriously? You got a great view of the courtyard and you didn't see or hear anything
I'm
Sunday
sorry,
night.
detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes
I
off work
might
to look
have,
out the window?
But in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Do you often work Sunday
It's
nights?
an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I see. Thank you for your
She
answers.
Anything else, officer?
Where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial
I've heard
area?
stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
How do you explain what happened to all those companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
I mean, she's right, but also, Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced the place is swarming with
Plaisance, the
malicious
bookshop lady?
energies.
I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Hold on, the whirling is part of the doomed commercial area?
So, both houses were built at the same time and under the East of the Commerce Central project.
You're right, the whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out.
Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
More or less.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you.
I guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have any opinions on hairstyles.
Neither. I just want it off my face.
What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing
Kuno?
club.
Who's Kuno?
He's sort of the king around here.
You mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff medias. would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool about the debris. But what's a snuff
It's a
milieu?
sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
What does she mean, to get off on it?
That's horrible. Were they
Maybe
arrested?
the SP got them. They have a special division that deals exclusively with sub-Rosas. In any case, I don't think it's your job to worry about what happens on Amelia's. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Things like that are better forgotten.
Did someone here make stuffed animals?
You
I saw a
mean
mouse
Mr.
lying around.
Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
I need to know what drugs he was doing for my police
he got
report.
high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
Even you can probably do better than that. You can almost see it. A small, sickly old man, hunched behind his work desk, his pants stained with old piss, stuffing a sad, stiff-legged raccoon dog. The entire scene looks tragic.
I found creepy
There
mannequins.
used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
I didn't know insects had any rights, or activists.
Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
I'm glad someone took care of the little guys. I like insects.
Really? Anyway.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
What's with the rotor blades and
They were made
skis?
by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
Usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. But Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house.
I found a strange machine.
Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive.
But when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes like snowfall.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the
boy,
cellar.
The fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
What did they expect? 20 cents per hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all.
They did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Class A 5000. Class A 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I killed the bear.
You did what?
I unplugged the fridge to help Revachol ICT cut their losses.
Of course they left it plugged in. Even in death, the bear is costing them money. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherian.
Scary, but cool.
Megatherian?
Megatherian, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Maybe this wise and noble beast can guide you toward those amphetamines you've been craving. The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
I don't have a comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the
The temperature has dropped in the cover.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I found the building's intercom, but it's not
right.
working.
I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
So you're telling me the doorbell with the empty
right.
name card was
I
yours?
haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I was wondering about the whirling in rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I saw a name East Delta Pinball on the door.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
First, it wasn't Plaisance. I know her and would have recognized her voice.
Alright, but did this person say anything?
She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No, it was something else. It was eerie.
Nah, it was something else, something eerie.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
I have a few more questions about the
I'm
building.
listening.
More
I'm pretty
questions.
sure it still doesn't.
Okay.
Sure, I'm listening.
Actually, I had other
Good.
questions.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I'd like to order a die
Of
from
course.
you.
Tell me what you have in mind.
Actually, I need more time to think
No
about
need
it.
to rush. Take a look around.
Let's leave. Okay, the bookstore might be closed for the day, but let's see if we can go talk to Plaisance. Okay, so she probably is there.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a
A
novelty
novelty
dice maker.
Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman
I
like
don't
you.
understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom?
Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The answer, you've come this far. You know how to end it. There is an entity behind the entity.
She says it's just capitalism. Bankruptcy is a quirk of our
What?
economic
The
system.
entire economic system is cursed?
This is a lot for her to pass.
I'm afraid that only world revolution can help you.
I understand what's going on here. You went in there, rummaged around, and accomplished nothing. And now you're telling me these intellectual... It's okay. You don't have to. I was wrong to trust another... Thank you for nothing. Please, do buy some books, or be on your way.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now.
Farewell for now. So, there is a visual calculus check, a shivers check, hand-eye coordination, interfacing physical instruments. Just in case this goes poorly, I'm gonna save. Poorly in the sense that we get a game over. If I just lose 1 health, it's not a big deal, but I might bump up physical instruments. And see if we can't, you know. So I'm gonna save real quick. Just in case.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
Oh, we have failed. Okay.
You managed to hoist it off the ground. See? See?
And then I guess I'll check. I can check what other physical instruments checks I have, but I think the main one would be this freezer. So we can check out, there is something to do with the abandoned lorry. And the ice cream maker. Do I need to have the
is but you slip your if you want to
equip the pry bar.
Okay, so I do have to have the pry bar to even attempt to crack this.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand.
I'll give it a try.
The ice squeaks. You see the pry. That's a good pry bar. But this ice cream maker is frozen. Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty.
So for now, let's go check the So putting a point into volition will not only give us a better shot at the check on the intercom, but it will boost our morale 1. So that might not be a bad choice. but at the same time, I do want to be able to check out that bullet. Okay, let me see here. Abandoned lorry. I assume it's this one.
A lorry.
Open the door.
The smell of cigarettes.
Admire the posters.
One of them.
Study the centerfold.
Wait.
Enough of the posters. Radio.
The peculiar frequency tableau.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations? Is there anything I can do with the radio?
No. The ghostly actress.
Check the pedals.
But one odd
But why the sandpaper?
You could peel off the sandpaper to peek underneath, but that would be tampering with the scene. The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a radio.
Check the pedals.
But one odd.
Look around the
The
cabin
movie stars
again.
are still.
Pull out the toolbox. Unfold the newspaper. Pick up the note.
These formula. The pull-out toolbox slides back. Close.
I think messing with the sandpaper without Kim around would prove to be unwise. Look in the window. Okay. So I don't know what the check is that I can apparently redo. Thank you for the posture check. I do tend to sit hunched over like a goblin. It's probably not the best. Knock again. This is the police. Please let me inside.
Check the backyard door.
The door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door.
Hold on, who am I speaking to? This is the police, but I'm not joking.
Go check the backyard.
Okay, Kuno S still has nothing to say.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette.
Oh, this is a new guy.
Eyes have been following you.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
No trouble for me. I just want to know what's going on here.
Gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
It's the god of cigarettes and youth. Ask him if he's got anything to spare.
Actually, the Gendarmerie really needs to talk to you.
Really that important?
Like a nervous cat. He keeps.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
I need to get inside the apartment building. Can I help? Can you help
Sorry,
me?
gendarme. I have to run.
Looks like you've got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about that hanging?
Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinet's standards.
What did you do last Sunday?
You already asked me that, didn't you?
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
Was it someone from the police?
I couldn't tell you.
When was
Last
that?
week? I don't know. Look.
You still haven't answered my question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of
My
friend?
Sunday friend.
A Sunday friend. Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer.
What's your friend's real name? Did he see something?
Doesn't reply. Gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the dull and darkening sky, the neighboring someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching, spying on you too.
Can you tell me
My
the name?
My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
Alright, we'll
No.
talk later.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Let's try it.
This
There we
isn't
go.
the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains?
Hey, listen. I'm just trying to make things okay again. Can we meet again somewhere else?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes, compassion, and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
And there he goes.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud.
Turn it
There's
over.
a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
Put the stone back. And we're in. This is exciting. There is a lot of stuff happening. Ooh. Eviction notices and missing pets plastered on top of each other. Flip up glasses, the auditor. +1 logic, -1 authority. What are our current spreads? We could definitely do with extra logic. And I don't think we would necessarily hate having less authority. Box full of cleaning chemicals. Old shoe rack. I think before we go opening up a bunch of doors, let's just see what there is to see in the building itself. There's drawn 5-pointed star on the wall. We got a penny out of someone's shoe. Ooh, $6. Door number 9 is locked. More money. Apartment 8, their mailbox is overflowing. And we have a skill point. Graffito says a firing squad for the rich.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Are you alright? Should I call a
fine.
doctor?
Fine. Don't you worry about me.
You're still worried. It's very worrying.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
Who are you?
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways.
Do you live here?
If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the coal room door outside. Splashes of waves make the balcony slippery.
I'm looking for Martin Martinez.
You'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
No, you don't understand. I'm looking for a real person named Martin Martinez. He told me he's Martin Martinez.
Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinez, like Tim Jamrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Oops, you really didn't get the joke there.
How about a young male in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony? Know where he lives?
I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble, I just want to talk to him. Do you know where he lives?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the
Upstairs in room
balcony.
28.
It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
I'm looking for the parents of a kid named
Right at
Kuno.
the end of this hallway, right next to the communal bathroom.
End of the hallway next to the communal bathroom. I have a few questions about those
Ask
apartments.
away, policeman.
Is one of the residents on vacation? Their mailbox is
I
overflowing.
don't keep an eye on everyone.
What can you tell me about
The
Cindy?
artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
That's all, thanks.
no.
Thanks, I'm off. Foreclosed by Martinet Realty Associates. Someone has torn down the wall. Waves crashing in the darkness.
Shifting temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor.
Rub your sides for
Former
warmth.
architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 degrees Celsius. It's
Her
red
face.
from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in her expression.
The plan.
Faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down.
Look around
It's
yourself.
clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room.
Interesting. Old grocery list on the table and checks. Ooh, we have access to a way to get health. Okay, that says balcony on it. What is that? Postcard, Boogie Street 46.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. The walking
Knock.
stops abruptly, but you can feel tension on the other side.
Knock again. Does the police open up?
To open the door?
Knock again. Please open up. Okay. So we're not getting in there without a warrant.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11.
Examine
It's
the
a solid
padlock.
lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pin. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. No reply.
Okay. So, we do have chain cutters. How
This
tough will
door
this
has
check
been
be?
closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says
It's a 42% chance. We have no extra health. I am inclined not to take any risks here. I think I will just try to discover the checks.
a shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges, secured to the doorframe with a safety chain. An unpaid energy bill is attached, threatening to cut off the electricity. Your heartbeat quickens, palms go sweaty. The siren of amphetamine is singing you her song. No
Knock
response.
lightly.
Nothing happened. Good thing you already have the chain cutters in your hand. Nothing.
Okay. Whoops.
Despair.
That's my
creeps
bad.
into you, getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with sentences.
Yeah. That was a 72% chance. Oh, how far behind was I? I was definitely pre-getting into the apartment. Let me see. I have an autosave. This was probably the furthest. So let me check the journal. So if I look at, we finished the doomed commercial area, so we've already seen that. Close the water lock on Wednesday. Add even more beauty. Hold on, had I already committed to this?
The barbell.
Okay, that's already locked. Okay, I hadn't committed the skill point to physical instruments yet. Which actually makes sense because I still have that health. My controller's battery is low. Let me see if I can fix this. I apologize for all of the noise this is making. All of my cords are like tangled around where I have my microphone situated. It's probably not great for anything. So I'm going to plug this in. I'm honestly considering just throwing the point into volition instead, so that we can attempt a check without failing it. Because that's the thing, so many checks in this game seem to be down to, like, your morale. So I think having more morale is not, like, the end of the world. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to put another point into volition. I guess I should check if that opened up any new tasks on the map. There is a Kim volition check. There is the electric doorbell. Those are the only two volition checks. And quite frankly, I would rather get back into the apartment. I hope we can get back in. I mean, we had a really good chance of passing the red check when it came up, so I see no reason to not try to just do it again. And then I will save this time, because there's a lot of good stuff in that apartment building. Oh right, I don't want to do anything yet. I want... I want to talk to this guy.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
No trouble for me.
It's the god of cigarettes.
Really needs to talk to you.
All right, but make it quick.
Can you help me?
No, sorry, Jean.
Looks like you got a good view.
Oh.
Pretty sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
Is it someone from the police? When was that? You still haven't answered my question. What kind of friend?
Makes sense.
Friend's real name.
Someone hides behind.
Can you tell me your name? Martin Martinez.
Good local name.
No.
Okay.
Now, if you'll excuse me,
let's try it.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and beg him. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself.
What do you want from me?
For God's sake, I don't want you. Listen, I really have to go. Good luck with the investigation.
Okay. So how are we going to get in now that we don't have that? I don't suppose we can just notice that the rock is there. Maybe we can ask Kuno, because he lives in the building. And also now that we have 3 morale, I guess I should redo some checks that actually take morale to do. Because I didn't know failing that check would give me morale. If I had known that, I probably would have failed it first. Or I would have attempted it first. So since we can, let's
an old call box with a
try this.
Of push. No, hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions.
Okay. That didn't work. What about... Kuno, can you tell me anything? Let's talk about your shack again.
The fuck do you want with good call, pig man?
More questions about the
kingdom
crime
of Kuno.
scene. Ladder yours. It's on the green.
Keep that gardener used to work there. Yeah,
Gardener.
that's what Kuno said. Look it up in the library. The fuck does this?
You were expecting relaying this information to him to be more rewarding, right? Or seems kind of boring now, going back to...
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't... Kuno...
Okay, I'm off.
I'll die before
What are the strange words you use? Okay. So how can I find a way into that apartment building if that doesn't work? Smoker on the balcony. Can we go talk to the cleaning lady again now that we've spoken to the guy on the balcony? Like, I assume passing the red check is like the easy way to get in.
Door guards the southwest.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business.
You can't think of anything convincing. Time for some police brutality.
I'm gonna light this place up.
Me, punk. I may be an old woman.
Okay. So we're gonna need to re-up our authority if we want to get in there. We only have one skill point to spend. Let's do it. Because we're really close to getting the next one anyway. So, getting the body down, we finished that. What other authority checks are there? There is Titus Hardy. That is the main one. Southwest entrance to the tenements. Yep, those are the two main ones. But I really want to get in here, so let's do it.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance.
There we go.
Versed in the kind of threatening legalese that implies criminal liability, but in fact has no meaning whatsoever.
I know my rights. And
Insufficiently differential.
hold your horses. I don't care about your stinking badge.
Okay. I'm glad we can lie about having the badge, because... Oh yeah, we still haven't made, like, any progress on finding that badge, huh? I hope we don't have to resort to taking help from the Union, since it's, like, pretty clear that the Union is somehow involved. Even with the bullet being like a outstanding question. Closed.
A shift in temperature.
Rub your sides for warmth, your face, the plan, look around yourself, finish thought. So we have a skill point. This one I am inclined to save, if I can. Oh, speaking of saving, we got back into the apartments. I think this calls for a save. We got a healing item. Mail box is overflowing. Take all that money. Door 9 is locked. Take the postcard. Take all that money. That is more money than last time. I am almost certain of it.
Can feel tension.
Knock again, police, open up. Knock again.
Did you have a warrant?
Okay. 46 money. 5-point star on the wall.
This door has been closed with a padlock. No reply.
Examine padlock.
Better without those cutters.
I think the thing to do here is filled with cleaning chemicals. Okay, why is my computer giving me notifications? Stop doing that. I don't want your notifications. Hopefully that makes it stop. So for clothes, we have these flip-up glasses, which I think it makes sense to wear. Old shoe rack. Communal bathroom. Shower curtains are covered in slime. More money. Ooh, even more money? Ooh, a healing item for our, whatchamacallit, our morale.
Shabby door, your heartbeat quickens.
Knock lightly.
No response. Nothing. You'll need to equip the chain cutters to enter.
Okay, so we're gonna need the chain cutters. Let's talk to the old woman again, just to get everything she knows.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Are you alright? Should I call you a doctor?
Now, what do you want from me?
Who are you? Do you live here? Looking for Martin Martinez.
Oops, you really didn't get the joke there.
How about a young man?
Somewhere.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble, just want to talk.
He lives upstairs in room 28.
Upstairs in room 28. To the parents of a kid named Kuno. A few questions about the apartments. You know who lived in the foreclosed apartment.
How am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood there.
Why is there a hole in the wall in the abandoned apartment?
Lost his mind.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
Is one of the residents on a vacation?
I don't.
Who lives in apartment 10?
It's been empty for months.
But I talked to someone through the door.
I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you?
Sure, I'll go see what I can find.
Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans.
Who lives behind the padlock door?
That one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study.
Astrology?
Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
Are you sure you don't mean
That's what I
astronomy?
said. Astrology.
Tell me about the man who lives at the end of the
I
hall.
don't talk about Deweeters.
Why not?
Addicts. All of them. And sometimes I hear them screaming. They don't like me cleaning behind their door. Think I'm listening in on their fights.
So she doesn't. Not after that one time. There's a that one time here. It didn't get physical. She heard something she doesn't want to hear again.
I saw unpaid utility bills. Aren't they
No
going
one
to be
likes
thrown
me in this
out?
building. It's only because of the kids they haven't been thrown out. I don't like talking about those people.
Can you tell me about
auntie, She
Cindy?
leaves an old lady to... Oh,
It's all... Thanks, I'm off. Tools. I have alcohol. So smoker on the balcony has been updated. And investigate apartment 10. So was this apartment 10?
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging.
This apartment is supposed to be empty. Did you break in here?
Scare them. Suspected of something. There's no sweet talking your way in there. Be official.
I don't need a warrant if I suspect there's been a break-in.
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see?
Her voice is really cheerful, despite her obviously hating you.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
Inspect the
It feels
passport.
flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with shorter hair inside, along with all her personal details.
Everything seems to be in order.
Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour.
Whoops, I did that accidentally. What are you doing here?
I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place.
Sounds like they knew how to have a good
Kind of a
time.
moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent. But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry.
Isn't it a bit late to be working?
Everyone says the real estate agents don't do anything. But here I am in the middle of the night cleaning up someone's crash pad. So the sooner we get this over with, the better.
Who lived in the
Oh,
foreclosed
that's another
apartment down the
huge
hallway?
mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall.
So preppy. She's probably on some low-grade performance enhancers, like Preptide or Pericanine.
A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
Oh, it irks her. The incompetence.
It couldn't have been that much money. These apartments look pretty
These
shabby.
apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million-real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable. I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards.
It's as if they're real wizards, able to resurrect dead real estate and breathe life into bank accounts.
My money has also
Well, it does
disappeared.
not disappear from my hands. No, I don't let it.
So what will happen
Don't
with the
ask
wall?
me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both.
That's all,
Of
thank you.
course.
Ooh. Looks like a fine mattress. And we have new shoes. +1 to indirect modes of taxation. Affluent moneymaker man. Compared to, what do our shoes give us? +1 composure. -1 savoir faire.
Give me a moment.
I didn't find any counterculture people in apartment 10. It was just a real estate agent setting up the rooms for new tenants.
I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them.
Yes, radio computer wizards are coming. They're going to save this place and the
Like
economy.
wizards. and people like that in general. They have a lot to tell us about.
Okay. So, I guess let's equip those chain cutters. Oh, and I was also going to check. So right now I have 3 savoir-faire and 3 composure. If I remove these shoes, I will have 4 savoir-faire and 2 composure. And then this will give me +1 to indirect modes of taxation. Is that something on this list? It is on this list, but we don't have it. So I don't know if this actually does anything. So I'm going to equip the shoes again until I can figure out how that works. Oh, did I equip the chain cutters? I did. Okay.
This door has been closed.
Let's try the easier one first. Because if we're going to be dealing with Kuno's parents, I would rather have more health and morale than less.
Oddly on its hinges. Snip.
There we go.
The cutter goes through them like dead leaves. Don't let the quiet fool you. The beast is in there. You can just go in now.
Interesting choice of decor.
On the table, covering a stack of utility bills. Right next to it, in plain sight, sits a small bottle of amphetamine, conveniently equipped with a straw. Score, it's right there, baby. Today's your lucky day.
Take
pocket
the
the
speed.
bottle as if it were the most. Don't wait. Celebrate. Blast that shit right here. Blast it before you face the beast. Deruita. You're going to need the...
I think we are accidentally investigating the inside of the other apartment.
A bundle of clothes heaped on the bed. A stained parka, some towels and a duvet, some socks even.
Slowly reach out your
Underneath
hand.
there is, it doesn't give a shit that you're a cop. It's not too late. No one's going to blame you for backing out. You don't have to.
Yeah, let's get out of there. Took the pants. Actually, tell you what. I kind of want to see what happens if I open up those covers. So just in case it's something that would give me an immediate game over, let's check it out.
A bundle of clothes. Something.
Slowly reach out your
It's not
hand.
too late.
Keep
Your
extending
hand
your hand.
touches a greasy duvet covered in cigarette burns, and you see
Pull the
a
blankets
60-year-old
off.
fat red-headed man passed out from large amounts of alcohol and God knows what else. The smell of shit rises from his mouth. You don't have to take him down. He's already down.
Are you even
Lump of
alive?
flesh is sticking out from under the blanket. It seems to be twitching from time to time. A groan rises from the man's throat, dry like a death rattle. He's trying to say something in his sleep.
Ooh, we're only gonna get one shot at this. Just to give myself as good a chance as possible.
The
There
man
we go.
groans once again, but his tongue keeps failing him. It's impossible to make out the syllables. A hand emerges from the blankets, trying to gesticulate something. And then it dawns upon you, clear and surreal. Pig, he says. He's trying to call you a pig.
What did you
His
just say?
hand falls back on the bed, limp and defeated. A loud snore escapes his mouth. He's asleep again.
Are you really
The light
Kuno's
from
father?
the window is weak, but it seems like he is. There's still plenty to be scared of here. Just not what you thought.
I was expecting something
No response.
scarier.
A pair of half-open bug eyes. His half-open eyes give him the look of a dead man.
I keep accidentally hitting the button. I need to stop doing that. Do you need help?
A pile of blankets, grunts. It's hard to say if there's anything left you could do. Silence. Only he wouldn't be too thrilled to learn you stole his stash. It was the
I guess we'll leave. Moss crawls on those bathroom tiles. Okay, let's try this one.
This door has been closed with a padlock.
Okay.
What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain.
Okay, let's head up to the balcony. Let me see.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Is that heavy fuel oil?
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? This shit is pumped out of government vehicles.
She did it herself. Pumped it out. She's proud of it too.
Fumes are bad for you.
Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage.
Catch you later. Not a whole lot we can do. Door is locked, you can't get in. Okay. And I guess we're going in here. Oh, I see. This is the coal room. Coal to last for several winters. Money. Pants. I should actually see what all these pants I've been finding give me. We got the speed bottle. Yeah. Regular black jeans and laborer jeans compared to -1 savoir-faire +1 electrochemistry. So I think I'll just take these. Like, it gets rid of the negative and boosts my composure. And I think we don't actually need electrochemistry for a lot of stuff, it seems like. Now we probably want to go to the other end of the balcony. We also want to turn in the quest with Kuno, but I think we can kind of wait on that. Because I think he's there all night. So now we're going to want to go all the way here. Hear distant traffic, night is falling on the city. Breaker box is full of cigarette butts and electric wires. A maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. It's money. Curtains. Just a door, nothing for you here right now. Money. It's growing rosemary and thyme. Door to apartment 29. Complete silence. Door to apartment 30. Voices from within. Singing along to some buoyant dance track. So this would be number 28.
This door is made of metal and appears to be number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker. No one.
Knock.
Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening, after 2100. No one. Looks like he isn't.
Tomorrow evening after 2100. So it does have to be at night. We can report back to Kuno. I think we are otherwise done with the apartment complex for now. I guess we could see if that other door is something we can open with the key to the apartment complex. Okay, that's still inaccessible. So let's go talk to Kuno. I would imagine Renee is gone for the night, but I guess if I can find him, it wouldn't hurt to talk to him either. Ooh, what's this? Is this just more money or something? It is. I'll take it. I think we actually already have our stay at the Whirling tomorrow covered. I took care of the drug situation.
Alright, so you got Kuno's kilo. Here is how we do it. First, you give Kuno Kuno's kilo, then Kuno gives you half back. That's how we split it. It's the best way, street way.
Aren't you gonna ask how I got past your
Word on
dad?
the street is, you sent your little friend in dressed as a hooker, distracted him. That's some sick shit. Tell your little slanty-eyed friend, respect from the Kuno. Kuno wants to hear all about it, but first we split the kilo, then we shoot the shit.
By kilo you mean gram,
Kuno
right?
knows what Kuno means.
Alright, fair is fair.
Wow, that's heavy. There you go. More than half in there. Kuno's fucking honourable like that. Now tell me, how the fuck are you still alive, pig?
I looked around in there. It's not the easy life you've got going on in that apartment.
The fuck do you know about Kuno's life? Kuno's got plans. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got plans.
6 meters underground, below piping from before the war, the collapsed remains of the Martinez storm drain system. There are 2 stolen flashlights with piles of batteries next to them, beside 2 bedrolls, in the dark and opening into the lower tunnels.
Kuno, I met your dad.
Yeah, you do some Sambo shit, sneak in. Was the Beano-clad hooker thing real?
Sambo is an acronym for Samaran boxing, graceful martial arts stuff. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Just letting you know.
It was what you said. Kim dressed up, full drag, distracted him.
Fuck out of here. Kuno made that shit up to demean you pigs. But is that why your hooker friend isn't? Look, Kuno's not judging. Kuno gets it. Tactical approach and shit. Hooker style. Covert ops. Combat trauma shit. Whatever it takes, right?
That room was so small. To be stuck in there with him. Not an easy fight for a kid.
Kuno, your dad is a half-dead alcoholic. He was sleeping under some clothes.
What?
His posture changes. The swaying rooster motion stops for a second. Then he gets it going again, reorienting himself.
Fuck right. Kuno's dad was sleeping like a bum. Kuno told ya. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about anything. Fucking breaking and entering shit. That's nothing to Kuno's dad. You got lucky, pig. Kuno knew this. Kuno's fucking violent fiend dad's been drinking hard lately. Kuno knew you have a way in. Narrow window. Kuno window.
Whatever scary thing he might have been, now he is nothing.
Yeah, Kuno's dad is fucking nothing. Fucking coma shit, stroke shit. Kuno's dad is so fucking violent. He's had a stroke many times. Shit. Kuno's gonna have one too. Gonna be just like Kuno's dad. Speed shit, crime shit, fucking on the bed. Kuno's gonna go out like Kuno's dad. Revachol West style.
Stop saying all this sad shit, Kuno.
There's a touch of grief in there.
Fuck are you talking, sad? Kuno's got hard shit, death shit, nothing shit.
You don't have to turn into that.
Get your fucking nun ass out of here before Kuno fucks it dead. You think 'cause you brought Kuno 1 gram of speed, you're friends now? Turn into... Kuno ain't turning into shit. Kuno is that shit.
Kuno won! Oh, you won, Kuno!
There were tons of unpaid utility bills there.
Fuck right there were. Fucking 3 years or some shit.
Let me guess, Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about them.
Yeah, that's right. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about that electricity and light shit. Just wants to pound on people and drink.
That's no place to live in. You have to find somewhere else.
That's right. It's a shithole. Kuno's gonna move underground. Leroy shit. Ancient shit. Kuno's gonna live in a fucking catacomb.
Yeah, in a tomb, Kuno!
Let's conclude this business.
Yeah, pig. This shit is done. Now get the fuck out of Kuno's face.
Okay, I'm off. Will you still not talk to me? Yep. So I could level up, I think it's hand-eye coordination. See, we can't do anything with Renee. Oh, I am still getting notifications. What was the point of doing any of this? There we go.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown.
Not now on that. Let me try going in here now that it's nighttime, see if there's anything different. Anyone different? Maybe the guy is there, the husband? Another thing of the whirling.
Yes.
No, I need a drink.
He sounds irritated.
Yeah.
Am I smiling?
Because you're not a
What
bartender.
you want is a goddamn drink. How is that so hard to understand?
Even more reason for me not to serve you, sir.
Okay.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Why are you so
I am
aggressive?
being aggressive? Listen, you moral and unlucky. You are part of a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you are their bodyguard.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's ask those questions. I feel like none of those answers were going to go well.
It's you again. What is it?
I'm going to wait to talk to him about the bullet, because I feel like we should talk to Kim first about the bullet. What about...
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. An intricate... It still kind of looks like a...
Okay. What was the skill check for the bullet? Hand-eye coordination. Let's see if we can boost that.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCMs. You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you...
Okay. You know, we tried. I think we're gonna call this one good and just move on to the next day. And I'll just have to bump up my hand-eye coordination again if I want to solve that bullet. Because I think for anything related to the actual main mystery we're trying to solve, we should kind of touch base with Kim before we go kind of bragging about any of our findings.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom. The bed is still cold from the...
Go to sleep.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress...
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
And there's a lot of it, ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
I'm sorry, cells. It's all me.
No.
It's my fault.
Your finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
I think I need medical attention.
Yes. They'll check you out, give you some pills, make it all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes and stare at the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them.
They're all so friendly, aren't they?
People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Open your eyes. Okay, we healed all our health, all our morale. Something about the map changed. Can't tell what. Let's go see. Kim is probably downstairs. Hello, Kim.
Yes?
Okay, maybe there's nothing we can say just yet to Kim. Which is actually kind of frustrating because I want to touch base with him on case stuff. Maybe if I come outside. Shouldn't I be having a breakthrough soon, though? Because shouldn't the... What is it? The Southern Passage? Oh, did I forget to talk to the lady about all the other types of cryptids? Because that's a thing that I was planning on doing, right? I must have, because I don't see it here. That's weird. I don't seem to see it here either.
Right to work! Right to...
Where exactly are you from? Routine.
Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long...
What if I just accuse him of lying?
Right to...
Where exactly are you from?
Big mess. Caused by Union greed. But I only fight for... We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain. In Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs. Heavy lifting. Cargo. Worked at Territorial.
Never heard of it.
We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
I wasn't done
Things are
asking
busy
questions.
enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
We'll see.
The Hulking Man oozes stark skepticism.
What's it to you? Am I a suspect? We're all workers, right? Workers worked at Territorial.
We're done here.
Right to work! Right...
Things are busy enough.
The Hulking Man oozes stark.
Okay. So clearly something's up with him that I can't... Whatever it is, I can't confront him about it. So I guess I'm thinking, like, order of operations, what do I want to do first? I guess let's go... Since we have an abundance of checks that we can do again, now that we have a little more freedom with our points again, I'm going to try the Shivers check up here. I'm going to withhold putting points into anything if I can manage it, because we want at least 1 point into hand-eye coordination. Alright, we need to equip our flashlight. If I check this out, will this have anything new, or is it just going to be the same stuff?
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing...
Okay, nothing there. Let's go do that Shivers check. I think that is basically the only reason to come back here. But what are the clothes it used to display?
Oh, it's you again.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly...
More questions about the building.
Good. I hope it's clarified.
I really wish I could talk to Kim about, like, stuff. Because stuff happened while he was gone. It really feels like there should be some kind of event when he shows up today that's like, hey, what did I miss after I left? Like, I almost wish I hadn't sent him away with the body that day so that I could have done the touch base with him at night and gotten some indication from him on what he thinks of the, like, bullet and stuff. What about that book on cockatoos?
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well...
Okay, let's read this book about cockatoos.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues. This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang-bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Alright, what problems do these birds have?
All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up.
I could handle that. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when feeling lonely.
Loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive.
Right, that's pretty bad. Anything else?
To get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own.
Yes, but there has to be
You're
something
right.
great about cockatoos as
are
well.
magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibel. Ouch. That must hurt.
Read about the
This
funeral
is a
cockatoo.
yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it. Ooh.
Read about the Major
Perhaps
Majestic.
the most impressive of all the species, the endangered Major Majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species.
Read about the most
Despite
common.
its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminoles name, bang-bang, is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins.
Honestly, this bird
Yes, but
does
all
sound a
those
bit like
cockatoo
me.
species are so different. Which one are you?
Let me read through them all again. Funeral. Major Majestic, here I come.
Your Majesty embodied. This big, beautiful bird belongs on your...
There we go. Oh, I see. I messed up getting the boots. Because Kim can't be around when I take them. Let's try it.
Still.
Anything else I can assist?
Thank you for your time. Let me see, what other checks are there? I guess I could try... I mean, that one's off the table now. Oh, and the sign is gone.
Rusting. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. The waterlock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now.
Focus on one thing. Achieve it, then the next.
Ooh, money on the ground. I almost walked right past that. Actually, there is like a lot of stuff to do here. Hold on. One thing at a time. Let's start. Let's kind of start out by going this way. Banged up fuel canister.
A banged up motor carriage lies half submerged. It must be cold and lonely down there.
This is where the tracks on the pause were releasing. Let's investigate.
We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach, why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea.
Run your hand over the cold metal.
Stuck in the ice. Getting
What do you make of this
the
MC?
logo
Can
is
I see
too
logo?
deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
How long has
The
it been
ice
here?
isn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
Looks like Jacob IRW's journey came to an
Finds
abrupt
no
end.
response, but the motion of the waves.
Did you say something, Lieutenant?
But I'd say it has been here since...
What should we
Let's
do?
wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
How long will it take for
I
the
don't
low
know.
tide to come in?
An hour or two, tops?
Sit on the swing and wait for the tide to recede.
As you sit down in the old rust, the hinges creak under your weight. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Let's try it.
Spit
Oops.
flies from your mouth to your...
Raining heavily here, Chief. Mind keeping it down a bit?
The lieutenant must think it's rather funny. He smiles, then quickly turns away.
Haha, very funny, so I
Just
can't
keep
whistle.
It will come to you.
With his lips puckered, the lieutenant lets out a beautiful... You hear the sound echo on the large body. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed.
The tide sure is
I believe
taking
it's
its
following
sweet
a pattern
time.
set millions of years ago by cosmic forces. But I suppose it could move quicker. Yeah?
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
If you have to side with either the strikers or the shipping company, who would you choose?
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
But if
Your
someone
voice
puts a gun
echoes
to
on
your
the
head,
water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
can you make out the mark now?
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Capri, Model 40. It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people, you know, those kinds of people.
Is that a number
Yes,
on the side?
41. What do you think it stands for?
Oh God, no.
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm so sorry.
41. Precinct 41. A massive pit opens up in your
This
stomach.
is our car.
The most terrible feeling. You feel like you're about to faint and fall off the swing. Oh God, Harry. Oh God, Harry, what did you do? No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
No,
yes,
no.
your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
Oh my god.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you drove your police motor carriage into the sea after you jumped across the canal.
The badge, the gun, and now
The lieutenant
this.
adjusts. There is also a fourth thing you've
A
more
fourth
precious
thing?
than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined, lost forever into the deepest of seas.
Maybe I was in pursuit of
whom?
someone.
I don't think so.
Probably. Try definitely.
How do we get it out?
We don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point.
They're not going to take me
People
back
are more
after this, are
valuable than
they?
Machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
People, yes, but not you.
I can still
That
fix
is
it.
very unlikely. All the you'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this.
I don't have that kind
Let's
of money.
face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
So it's...
That is... well, not cheaper.
I couldn't even pay a
Let's face
hostel
it,
bill.
This is a substantial...
Okay, so it's just going
I'm
to be
afraid
there
it
like
will
that?
have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be
Well, at least I can see what's in there now.
Yes. Let's go take a look.
Oh. Hold on. My
This
badge!
on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
I found my badge.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased
Study the
between
badge.
2 durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Look at the photo.
Keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. Good choice. A newer photo would look different.
How old?
8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good-looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
And he's winking? Why?
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. It looks better on him because he isn't in as much pain while producing it as you are now. Although there's already a hint of that pain, certainly. Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light.
Name Harrier Dubois.
That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
Wait, what kind of name is Harrier?
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times. Like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
It's meant to keep you safe from bullets, hunger, shrapnel, kidnappings, and worse.
Harrier Dubois it is then.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see
Rank
lines of information.
LTN 2JFR.
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What is a Lieutenant W. Frintor?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
And W. Freitor?
The title of Yefreitor is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're double Yefreitor.
Declined?
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's decomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
What's a decomptage?
Decomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens' militia. It means counting down to twos. The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kinks.
What kinks?
Kinks like satellite officers and the additional Freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
Wait, satellite officers?
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite.
So you've been putting up with me because we're of the same rank?
No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
He trusts you, for now. Try not to spoil it.
I thought my rank was drunk.
Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary.
Thanks, that gives me hope.
Good.
Turn back
Such
to the
a
document.
small yet precious thing. Expensive paper called...
Serial Rev 126205 Jam 41.
Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Date of issue 7th of November 50.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The pain in your chest tells you you were working yourself to death to earn that rank. The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you, of that you are sure.
I remember that time! That was a good time. We had a good work-drink balance going. What happened, man? Pump it up!
Precinct 41.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
What?
It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are.
But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him. Ask the badge in your hand shines as you...
Put the badge away. We also found a banged up fuel canister. And clothes. We have the RCM Commander jacket. Which, if I were to replace the patrol cloak... I think I actually want more shivers at the moment. Take the money. Take the money. Oh, we can also throw another point into hand-eye coordination and try to interact with the bullet again.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic.
There we go.
Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you, the dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Anyone still making these rifles?
But Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with his surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmargrave rifles these
Antiques
days?
enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from a Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
That's probably a good thing.
I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable that they took the advice of criminologists last century and banned the use of breech loaders in peacetime. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Makes you consider every shot. I like it.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Seems we're looking for an antiques enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the...
The bullet has nothing more to say. So we got the all-important bullet check done. Footprints in the snow, they lead away from the accident. Sorry, I just want to check what is like this other way here. Drive it to the gate. More abandoned motor lorries. Got magnesium. There's a locked thing there. So now I guess let's kind of retrace our steps. Boat tucked away under the tarp. Other side of the boat. Quick travel unlocked. Who are you?
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with?
That depends. Where are we exactly?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium.
Why?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
I have questions. The first is, what's your name?
The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Nice sword. Does it come with a story?
Fortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks mostly.
It is imposing.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
Why do you need intimidation
From time to
tactics?
time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
Why don't more women arm themselves if
What
it's
makes
so
you think
effective?
we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Show her the wonder.
Behold.
Not bad.
Do you like it?
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
Can I borrow that sword?
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check. You would put me in an early grave.
So where are all the men now?
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying.
Where's your husband now?
Gone.
Gone where?
To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago.
That's bad. What happened?
Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
She really likes those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
It's healthy to let go and move on. Gotta keep the wheels spinning.
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better drunk.
Do it! Hit on the widow! It's the right thing to do!
I'm looking for someone maybe you
Let's
can
see.
help.
Who are you looking for?
Missing cryptozoologists.
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
People who look for imaginary
Aha.
animals.
Like snowmen.
Snowmen, I haven't heard
Two
about
old
those.
guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Where did they go?
Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
A working class husband.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle class ones either. I could use some landed gentry, but apparently they don't make those anymore.
I'm looking for him for his wife.
Wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your work.
She seems genuinely sorry for not being able to help.
That's it. Not looking for
How
anyone
can
else
I
right
assist
now.
you then, officer?
Is that your boat?
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
What do you do around here?
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now, I'm tarring a little skiff.
What else?
I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic Insular Indian cuisine.
Is that enough to make a living?
Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Interesting. What have you found?
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
Need to know about those human bodies.
You're barking under the wrong tree then, officer. I have no interest in floaters. Seen enough of them in my life already. Very unattractive bunch.
Yeah, maybe stay clear of the things reminding her of the floater she used to be married to. Just saying.
Be seeing ya. We got cavalry boots, we got a bottle. Pretty neat. Floating freely in the water. Planks Creek. Leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp. Perception compared to composure. I guess I'll take that. Take that money. It's locked up tight. Can't see into the house from this angle. Who are you? A washerwoman.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We're not here to cause any trouble,
madame.
Trouble? Say the second thing, Bratan. Shows you got style.
What he said, we're cops.
Oh, we don't cause trouble, we're here to take care of trouble.
Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
The usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heel.
I'm considered an ill omen. Why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Where could someone stay around here?
Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
How much is it?
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
Wait, hold on, you're just giving
No
it to
one
me?
is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there.
Okay, I'll take it.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the place.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only. Drinking.
Finally, you have those lamos of Martinez off your back, Bratan. This looks like a great place to bring chicks.
What's in this fishing
Just
village?
us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
There's gotta be something
Over
here.
there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park.
The pox, what's
An
that?
old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses, shacks as far as the eye can see. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now.
Who else lives in this
Well,
village?
there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's
I
little...
met Lillian already.
Lillian is tough. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left.
I haven't seen any drunks left,
Sooner or
though.
later, you'll see for
Or
yourself.
yet, though.
Don't have to look long to find these guys.
Alright, there's another topic I'd like to address.
Another piece of cloth.
Goodbye, I'm off. Let's check out this breakthrough.
Motorway south. The lone vector stretches in your mind's eye into the wild pale yonder, for an unimaginable distance, forgetting, until you can no longer remember anything. No cities, no mountains, no oceans, and finally, no vector. Nothing remains. A blank space with no point of reference, where only one type of motion is possible. The motion of a human throat. Swallow in, and then it comes to you. To reach the end of the motorway south is to be unborn. You've had this thought before, while aimlessly wandering the streets of Jamrock. A lost piece of the man you were. A dark hope.
Well, that's something. So the mirror can be retried. The set of tracks can be retried. A Kim logic challenge can be redone. Siling can be redone. Box of sunglasses. Tommy Lahama. There's actually quite a few that can be redone. check out our new digs.
The door has seen.
Unlock the shack door with the key.
I'll wait outside to give you some. After we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night.
The key turn.
Okay. Let's check it out. Come on. Oh, there we go. Floorboards creak under your step.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold.
What is this place to you?
It's free, that's good enough.
Waves crash onto the beach, drowning the reeds. Far to the south, a congregation gathers to a soup kitchen in a shelter for the homeless. An old woman gives out knitted scarves for free. This could have been you. This could still be you. A down on his luck nobody, trying to survive.
Thank you, strange sensation, for a fair assessment of the current situation.
The howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Look under the floorboards.
That's a little creepy, but
On the
sure.
table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Is shaving the right call?
Back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red. Hair unkempt. Wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy.
Time to shave.
Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, reducing
I kinda don't like that.
The surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly.
Feel your clean-shaven cheeks.
Surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came from a cold. The
Was shaving the
reflects
right
back
call?
a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe. The beardless nature of your cheeks makes the expression seem even more like a terrifying grimace. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The
Attempt to stop the expression.
Still not happening. It won't come off that easy, like the rest of you.
Okay, so that still doesn't work. That thing still said to look under the floorboards, but it looks like I can't. I guess I will roll with it.
Yes?
Let's try it.
You pick over what's left of...
Yes. I don't know what to say. Perhaps,
You can tell me, Kim.
I'm not really sure about this turn of events. I think the mutton chops might have been a better idea. They sort of seem to cover up some of the...
damage.
Either way, good on you.
Okay. Tell you what, it is like getting late. You know, I am over my usual time tonight. I think I'm gonna call it, because I could spend the rest of tonight just watching or just clicking these like green dots that I keep finding. So I'm gonna call it here. I think we made some really good progress. There's going to be lots to do next week when we come back to this. And I will see you on Wednesday for Persona.